Hey everyone, welcome back to the British Accent Podcast. I'm Emily.
And I'm Nick. And today's episode might be one of the most personal ones we've done so far.
Yeah, definitely. Because today, we're not just talking about improving your English, we're talking about using English to heal.
More specifically, how writing your feelings in English, through journaling, can help you both emotionally and linguistically.
Exactly. Journaling isn't just about practicing grammar or writing neat sentences. It's about letting your thoughts out, organizing your emotions, and giving yourself a safe space, even if that space is on paper or in a notes app.
And doing it in English adds another layer. It helps you express things from a new perspective. Sometimes, putting your feelings into another language gives you a kind of emotional distance. It can feel safer.
Yeah, like you're not just reliving the emotion, you're translating it, observing it, understanding it in a new way. And that can be incredibly powerful.
And it's especially helpful if you feel stuck in your head all the time. Learning a language is already emotional, you're constantly pushing yourself, comparing yourself, doubting yourself. So journaling becomes this quiet, honest place where you don't have to perform.
No judgment. No pressure to be perfect. Just you, your pen, or your keyboard, and your thoughts. Even writing, "I feel tired today," or "I miss home," in English is a step forward.
You don't need fancy vocabulary. You don't need perfect grammar. You just need honesty. Because language isn't only for speaking, it's for processing. And sometimes, what you can't say out loud, you can write.
I remember journaling in French when I was learning it in university. I wasn't fluent, but writing, "Je me sens perdu aujourd'hui, I feel lost today," helped me release something. Like, it wasn't perfect, but it was real.
Exactly. It's not about sounding good. It's about feeling better. And with time, you realize that your writing gets clearer. Your sentences get stronger. Your emotions become easier to name. It's growth, emotionally and linguistically.
And the best part is, no one has to see it. Your journal doesn't correct you. It doesn't laugh. It doesn't compare you to anyone else. It just listens.
So true. And for those of you listening who feel overwhelmed, anxious, or even stuck in your learning, this might be what you need. Not another grammar book. Not another speaking challenge. Just a quiet moment with your thoughts in English.
Grab a notebook. Open a blank doc. Title it "Dear Me" if you want. And let your words come out however they need to.
You know, Emily, one thing I've noticed is that journaling also helps with vocabulary. When you write about your feelings, you naturally start looking for new words to describe them.
Totally. Like, instead of just saying "I'm sad," you might find yourself writing "I feel a bit down," or "I'm overwhelmed." That process pushes you to learn new expressions and makes your English richer.
And it's a lot less scary than trying to remember those words while speaking on the spot. When you write, you have time to think, to look up words, to check meanings.
Right, it's like practicing English without the pressure of a live conversation. You can take your time, make mistakes, and then correct yourself gently.
Plus, it's private. You don't have to worry about someone judging your mistakes or your feelings. Your journal is just for you.
And that privacy makes it easier to be honest. Sometimes, we hide how we really feel because we're afraid of being misunderstood or judged. But writing gives you freedom.
And when you're learning a new language, that freedom is golden. It reminds you why you started learning English in the first place, not just for exams or jobs, but to connect, to express, and to grow.
I love that. Journaling is like having a conversation with yourself in English. Sometimes the hardest person to talk to is yourself, but this makes it a bit gentler.
Exactly. And over time, you might even notice changes, not just in your English skills, but in how you understand and handle your emotions.
Yeah, because writing helps you see patterns. Like maybe you always feel stressed before a big test or nervous before speaking English aloud. Once you write it down, you can start to figure out ways to manage those feelings.
And sometimes just naming those feelings makes them less scary. When you say, "I'm anxious," it's not this big unknown monster anymore. It's just something real you can deal with.
So true. And journaling can also be a space for celebrating the small wins. Like, today I spoke English for 5 minutes without stopping, or I understood a podcast episode without subtitles.
Yes. It turns learning into a story you're writing about yourself. And every page is a part of your progress.
Plus, looking back at old journal entries can remind you how far you've come, even when it doesn't feel like it in the moment.
That's so important. Sometimes progress feels invisible until you see it on paper.
So if you haven't tried journaling yet, give it a go. Start small. Write 1 sentence a day, or just a few words about how you feel.
And don't worry about making it perfect English. This is your space. Your voice. Your journey.
You know, Nick, sometimes people worry they don't have enough to write about. But honestly, just writing about your day can be a start. Like, today was hard, or I felt happy when I heard my favorite song.
Absolutely. Even the simplest sentences count. Journaling isn't about quantity, it's about connection, with yourself and with the language.
And if you ever feel stuck, you can try prompts. Like, what made me smile today? Or what's something I want to get better at?
Or even, what's one thing I'm grateful for? Those prompts help guide your thoughts when your mind feels cloudy.
Plus, it can be really freeing to write without thinking too much. Just let the words flow, no matter how messy or imperfect they are.
Yeah, sometimes those messy pages hold the most truth. They show your real feelings, your real struggles, your real hopes.
And as you keep writing, you might find yourself more confident to speak about those feelings too, because you've already practiced naming them in English.
That's a great point. Writing kind of prepares you for real conversations. It's like rehearsal, but without the pressure.
And here's another thing. Journaling can help with motivation. When you're feeling down about your English, writing can remind you why you started.
Yeah, because you can go back and read things like, "I'm proud I tried today," or "I'm learning, even if it's slow." That kind of self-talk is powerful.
It's like building your own cheerleader inside your head. Someone who supports you no matter what.
Exactly. And the more you do it, the more you realize that learning English isn't just about rules and vocabulary, it's about understanding yourself better.
So, journaling is kind of like a bridge between your feelings and your English skills, between your past struggles and your future confidence.
And that bridge can carry you through the hardest moments when you want to give up.
You know, Nick, another thing that's really cool about journaling is that it helps you discover your own voice in English. Not just the textbook English, but your English, how you naturally express yourself.
Yeah, it's like giving yourself permission to be imperfect but real. Sometimes learners get stuck trying to sound right or native, but journaling says, just be you.
And honestly, that's what connects us most. When you write honestly, your personality shines through, even if your grammar isn't perfect.
Totally. It's your story, your feelings, your words. And that's way more meaningful than sounding perfect.
Plus, journaling helps you track your progress in a very personal way. When you look back at old entries, you see how much you've grown, not just in English but emotionally too.
And it's so motivating. Because sometimes you don't notice growth day by day, but on paper, it's clear.
Right, and sometimes writing can even unlock feelings you didn't realize you had. Like, suddenly you understand why a certain experience hurt you or why you're anxious about speaking.
And understanding those feelings is the first step to healing them.
So in a way, journaling in English is like therapy and language practice rolled into one.
Exactly. It's not just about words or sentences. It's about healing, growing, and connecting with yourself and the language.
And remember, it doesn't matter how long or short your entries are. What matters is showing up for yourself, one word at a time.
That's the power of journaling. It's simple, personal, and deeply effective.
You know, Nick, one of my favorite things about journaling is that it lets you celebrate even the smallest victories. Like, maybe today you learned a new word or managed to write a whole sentence without stopping.
Yeah, those little wins are the fuel that keeps us going. When you write them down, it's like giving yourself a high five.
Exactly. And sometimes, just putting your feelings into words helps clear your mind. It's like unpacking a heavy backpack. You feel lighter afterward.
That's a great way to put it. And the best part is, you don't need anyone else to approve your writing. It's your space, your rules.
Right, no judgment, no pressure. Just you and your thoughts.
And over time, you might even notice your writing changing, your sentences getting longer, your vocabulary growing, your confidence shining through.
That's the beauty of it. Journaling is like a mirror reflecting not just your English, but your growth as a person.
So if you haven't tried journaling yet, maybe today's a good day to start. Grab a notebook, or even your phone, and just write.
No need for perfect grammar or spelling, just your honest thoughts and feelings.
Because at the end of the day, learning English is about connection, expression, and healing, and journaling helps with all three.
So, Nick, I guess the takeaway here is simple but powerful. Writing your feelings in English isn't just about practicing a language. It's about reconnecting with yourself, healing old wounds, and celebrating your progress, no matter how small.
Exactly, Emily. And to everyone listening, remember, your journal is your safe space. Don't rush it, don't judge it. Just show up for yourself, one word at a time.
Thanks so much for hanging out with us today on British Accent Podcast. We hope this inspired you to pick up that pen and start writing your story in English.
Yeah, and if you do start journaling, we'd love to hear how it's going. Feel free to share your experiences with us anytime.
Until next time, be kind to yourself, keep learning, and remember, you're doing great.
Take care, everyone.